Acupuncture needles may be tiny, but they're powerful tools. Inserting them into the skin can alleviate a range of illnesses, and advanced science is starting to reveal just how acupuncture heals. Japan is a world leader in cutting-edge medical technology and healthcare services. Join us as we explore medical frontiers. In Japan, doctors are using acupuncture to treat cancer, Parkinson's disease, and other difficult-to-cure illnesses. Recent studies have shown that acupuncture can significantly affect blood flow and various cells. A related treatment uses heat from burning leaves to stimulate the body. This is called moxibustion. We'll share some tips on how you can use moxibustion at home for better health.
Hello and welcome to Medical Frontiers. Our focus today is Japanese acupuncture. Today, research into acupuncture and its benefits is taking place all over the world, and Japan is at the forefront. Acupuncture traveled from China to Japan more than 1,500 years ago. The Japanese went on to develop their own unique form of acupuncture. When I came to Japan and experienced Japanese acupuncture for the first time, I was surprised by the differences. Chinese acupuncture can actually be quite painful, but Japanese acupuncture hardly hurts at all, and the techniques are quite subtle. Now, cutting-edge medical facilities in Japan are actively incorporating acupuncture to help patients with difficult-to-treat illnesses find relief. Let's begin by finding out exactly what Japanese acupuncture is all about.
This is the Oriental Medicine Research Center at Kitasato University in Tokyo. Scientists here conduct cutting-edge research into traditional Japanese therapies, including acupuncture. Go Ito is Assistant Director General of the center and a medical doctor. He's treated patients for many years using a combination of Western medical science and traditional Japanese medicine.
So Ito-sensei, probably the most important thing is the balance of the flow of energy through the body or through the meridians.
Energy flows throughout the human body, as represented by these lines. This energy is what is known as ki. When ki doesn't flow smoothly through the body, your health suffers.
In Japanese, ki means vital energy that flows throughout the body. In traditional medicine, ki is believed to affect everything from the blood to the internal organs and the brain, bringing the body and mind into balance. Pressure points are found along meridians or passages that aid the flow of ki. Stimulating these points can improve the flow of both ki and blood, leading to better health. This is the basis for Japanese acupuncture.
The first step is to take the pulse. Checking the pulse helps us to understand which parts of a patient's body are not functioning normally.
Ito feels Erica's wrists and takes a pulse to identify if any meridians show signs of a problem. There are fixed points for checking the pulse. They each correspond to a certain physical or psychological function.
Your lung and spleen meridians are weak.
What does that mean? For example, is it my lungs are weak?
Well, for example, even if you don't have a cold, you might have difficulty breathing. Do you notice any symptoms at the moment?
Accumulation of exhaustion and stress. A little bit of sleep deprivation as well. I don't sleep very deeply. I have a sleep disorder.
Your breathing is probably shallow. Can you take a deep breath? Please do it again. Your shoulders are up. It means you're not breathing properly.
Really? So I'm not breathing deeply enough?
Your lung meridian may be a little weak right now.
Ito performs acupuncture on Erica to strengthen her lungs and spleen. He inserts needles into pressure points along the key passages. He focuses on a lung meridian in her arm. This not only improves breathing, but also emotional health and the skin. Then, he positions needles along a spleen meridian, stretching from her foot to her armpit. This enhances digestive functions and the immune system, and strengthens the lungs.
Does this hurt?
No, it hurts a little bit. It does hurt. It's a little bit painful. A little bit.
There's probably a slight problem.
Not too bad.
If a pressure point hurts when pressed, it indicates a possible problem in the corresponding organs. Pushing on pressure points from time to time to see if the patient feels any pain is part of examinations and treatment. Each set of needles is left in place for about 15 minutes. The entire treatment takes about 40 minutes.
I can hardly feel anything.
Gentle needles are a distinguishing feature of Japanese acupuncture. Practitioners of Chinese acupuncture insert needles more deeply. This method is often painful. Chinese needles are thicker as well. Needles used in Chinese acupuncture tend to be about 0.3 millimeters thick. Japanese needles are 1/10 of a millimeter thinner, so they're less likely to hurt. And a new type of needle has been developed that's even gentler. Standard needles have a sharp tip, but the new one is rounded.
Actually, no, I didn't feel any pain. They're very, very gentle, the needle going in. And I think the needles are incredibly fine. So there was no pain. There was a little bit of pain with one on the foot, but that was it. It was very gentle, very painless, and actually very relaxing as well. How much, Dr. Ito, do we actually know about the mechanisms of how acupuncture works now?
Acupuncture is not a mysterious phenomenon. You insert needles beneath the skin and stimulate what are called sensory receptors, or sensors if you will. These sensors are connected to nerves that send signals through the spinal cord to the brain. Then the brain sends out signals to, for instance, the internal organs, muscles, and skin. This can promote system-wide healing. There are also localized effects around the points where needles are inserted. The resulting improvement in blood flow can ease pain caused by an insufficient supply of blood. There's a third route. That's to go straight to the internal organs through the spinal cord.
So, Dr. Ito, how do you think that acupuncture can be used in the future in medical settings?
Relieving pain is one of the key purposes of acupuncture. It's also effective for the autonomic nervous system, as well as hormones and the immune system. These days, people with lower back pain are turning to acupuncture when Western medicine doesn't provide sufficient relief. We also see patients with atopic dermatitis, and we have patients with mental conditions.
We know, even in Japan, a lot of these lifestyle diseases are really increasing. Don't you feel also that maybe acupuncture is going to play a really important role in helping to prevent some of these lifestyle diseases?
To diagnose illnesses and identify conditions, Western medicine relies on tests performed with advanced equipment. But traditional medicine doesn't depend on such technology. Instead, it uses observation and treatment techniques developed over thousands of years. It's quite comprehensive. So traditional medicine should be incorporated into modern medicine. They can complement each other. And I believe that would contribute to further advances in modern medicine.
Dr. Ito, thank you so much for your time today. It was such a great pleasure. Next, we'll show you how one medical facility is using acupuncture in its advanced treatments.
The University of Tokyo Hospital is the leader in advanced medicine in Japan. Yoshihiro Makide has been receiving treatment. He's 71 and has had Parkinson's disease for 5 years. Parkinson's develops when the brain fails to secrete sufficient amounts of a neurotransmitter. This disrupts the communication of brain signals to the body. Patients experience stiffness in their muscles and joints and have difficulty moving. The disease is most common in people 50 or older, and the number of cases among the elderly is rising. Makide's muscles are rigid. He has limited mobility in his limbs and often feels sharp pain. He receives acupuncture once a week to ease his symptoms.
Acupuncture can relieve the pain. It can also loosen up joints that have become stiff and are difficult to move.
Needles are inserted in pressure points to relax muscle tension and ease pain. One hour later, the needles have had a noticeable effect. Makide couldn't stretch his limbs before. Now he can move them more freely. After Makide began receiving regular acupuncture treatments, his condition improved enough for him to begin rehabilitation. He says his quality of life has improved.
We can ease pain, loosen up stiff joints, and improve blood flow. We try to boost physiological functions and the body's overall condition to ready our patients for rehabilitation.
Cancer patients who have undergone radiation treatment and chemotherapy also come to the hospital. Tsuyoshi Fukae is 53. Doctors found a cancerous tumor at the back of his throat 3 years ago. His tumor has been eliminated, but one side effect of radiation was that salivary glands in his throat became damaged, and they no longer secrete saliva on their own. Western medicine couldn't help.
Eating is the hardest part. It's difficult to swallow bits of food, unless they're small.
He's been undergoing acupuncture for more than a year to restore function in his salivary glands. Needles are inserted in pressure points that stimulate the glands. Weak electric stimulation is also applied. And Fukae has needles inserted into pressure points related to blood flow to help strengthen his overall physical condition. By the time the treatment has ended, his glands have started secreting saliva.
I really look forward to having lunch right after treatment. Everything tastes delicious. Saliva really affects how things taste. It makes me so happy to actually feel that.
Before acupuncture can become integrated into medical therapies, its efficacy must be scientifically analyzed. In Japan, such research has been going on for years, but the latest studies point to some surprising new benefits.
Researchers at Showa University in Tokyo have been working to uncover how acupuncture works. Tadashi Hisamitsu is the dean of the medical school. He's trying to provide scientific proof of acupuncture's effects on blood flow. When humans and other mammals experience stress, the blood becomes thicker and more viscous, disrupting the flow. This can lead to various problems. Hisamitsu's team induced stress in 2 groups of rats. Then, they used acupuncture needles to apply stimulus to one group. They wanted to observe how this would affect blood viscosity. They passed blood samples from the rats through silicone chips with specially etched openings and recorded the flow on video. The openings are about the same width as the capillaries in the rats. The blood from rats that didn't receive the stimulus was stickier and didn't flow in a fluid manner. By contrast, blood from rats that were stimulated with needles flowed fast and smoothly. It was clearly less viscous. Hisamitsu suspected that using the needles affected platelets in the blood. Platelets can clump together and form clots. This is to prevent excessive bleeding when a blood vessel is torn. But when platelets stick to each other too easily, the blood becomes thicker and the flow slows down. The researchers found that stimulating the rats with needles before administering the cancer drug. Then, they compared the number and size of microglial cells.
We've learned that the stimulus provided by acupuncture has a restraining effect on microglial cells, both in terms of number and size. Our hope is that if patients receive acupuncture before they start taking cancer drugs, far fewer will experience numbness and tingling as a side effect.
Therapies that take advantage of both cutting-edge medical technology and traditional acupuncture are now used to treat all kinds of patients. They range from allergy sufferers to women who have difficulty getting pregnant.
We've seen how combining Japanese acupuncture and Western medicine can provide effective relief for patients. And I think there's a lot to learn from this. Western medicine and surgery are highly effective for treating certain types of diseases, but unfortunately the medications can often have severe side effects, and the treatments can put a heavy strain on elderly patients. Acupuncture, on the other hand, eases symptoms without unnecessary burden, making it even more vital for today's aging societies. I'm looking forward to seeing what Japanese research into acupuncture discovers next.
Moxibustion is often used in combination with acupuncture to stimulate pressure points. The therapy involves placing mounds of moxa, made from dried mugwort leaves, over pressure points and burning them. The heat generates the stimulus. There's a product that makes it easy for anyone to perform moxibustion on their own. It has moxa attached to a base. There's a sticker on the back, so it's easy to fix it in place. The base keeps the moxa from causing burns. A store in Tokyo's Ginza shopping district specializes in moxibustion goods. It's popular with young women. does moxibustion improve health, but it's also thought to have cosmetic benefits.
Mister, I've heard that moxibustion is really great for beauty, but is it really?
The face is connected to the hands and feet through meridians. Burning moxa on these areas delivers plenty of benefits to the facial area. These days, people tend to have ki, the vital energy, rise to the head while fluid accumulates in the lower part of the body. That's because many people work in offices and use their brains all day. So, ki goes up and fluid goes down. As a result, the feet often swell or feel cold. Restoring the flow of ki can help fluid circulate back up from the feet. That adds moisture to the face and is quite good for beauty. If blood flow is disrupted in a certain area, that's where you want to stimulate the pressure point. When not enough blood flows, the surrounding skin loses resilience and sinks in. As I touch your feet with my hands, I notice an indent by the big toe right here. You can see it's a little darker in color. That's a pressure point.
You can really see the indent. I can see the indent here.
When your feet are swollen or cold, stimulate this point and you can improve fluid circulation. Here's a pressure point that's good for women. There's a little depression here too. And here's another one. It's a good one to remember when you have bags under your eyes. It also works on wrinkles around that area.
So everyone obviously has very different tsubo or points that they have an indent in.
That's right. If you don't have such symptoms, you may not have depressions in your skin. Looking for pressure points can tell you about your physical condition.
That's fascinating.
Let me burn some moxa for you. Just to fix it like this.
That's it. All you do is to stick it on.
That's all it takes.
So easy.
After the smoke stops, please wait until the base cools down. The whole thing takes about 5 minutes.
So it's about 5 minutes. That's all. That's very short.
Is it hot?
I don't feel it at all. I'm not feeling any heat at all. I don't feel the heat.
The heat from the moxa is reaching the pressure points in your feet, but you're apparently not feeling it there. This means your blood flow is disrupted, and that has dulled your senses.
So for each different point or each different spot, how many times can you put on a new moxibustion, one of these?
When your pressure points fail to register the heat, you can burn moxa on the same points up to 3 times.
So why can you only do it 3 times? Why can't you do it, for example, 5 times?
It would be good to continue until blood flow improves, but that could irritate the skin. So if you don't feel the heat after doing it 3 times, you might want to try again the following day. If you continue that way every day, the depressions will gradually go away.
So are there any other points or specific spots that are really good for beauty?
Clench your fist, and you see a dent between the little finger and the ring finger. If you feel your cheeks are sagging a bit, you can burn moxa on this point to tighten up your face. And also, there's a pressure point on your wrist, right beneath the bone that juts out below the finger. Feel it, and you'll notice a little depression. Your state of mind is closely linked to this pressure point. If you burn moxa here, you'll feel more relaxed. Some people actually sleep with a frown in between their eyebrows. When that happens, they may be sleeping, but their minds are not at rest. Stimulating this pressure point with moxa leads to deeper sleep and relaxation. The frown will disappear.
It sounds like the perfect point for me today. This is a really great form of self-care. I mean, anyone can do it anytime, do it at home, and I think have a more of an understanding of their body as well.
Each moxibustion session lasts only 5 minutes or so, but that time is precious. Looking for your own pressure points is a good way to find out about your health. I would like people to listen to the body through Mach Sebastian and take good care of themselves.
Thank you so much for today. It was fascinating. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Being in tune with your own body and managing your physical condition are two of the most important ideas underpinning traditional therapies. And this way of thinking is increasingly important today due to our modern lifestyles. You know, we can't escape stress, but I think it's even more important than ever to prioritize self-care and to take responsibility for our own health. Thanks for joining us. See you again next time.